Yeah, I'm going to talk about the music industry. So there are a couple of things when it comes to like a contract, right? Music contract that I'd like to talk about. I'm gonna make it a series, but for now, I'm gonna talk about the first one. If you're gonna sign a contract, um, I think one of the things that you should look at is creative control. Creative control. And two study cases that I would like us to like look at is uh Pretty Ugly and Aries. If you listen to Pretty Ugly when he was still at Ambitious and after Ambitious, and when you listen to Aries when he was still at Ambitious and after Ambitious, they sound like two different people. Because when they were still at Ambitious, they were trying to use the MT formula, right? They were trying to make hits, right? Songs that are going to be radio hits, songs that everybody's going to love, right? When they were still at Ambitious. But after Ambitious, they try to go niche market and make songs for their people.
We need to simplify the music, dumb it down. We need the 3-year-old and the 63-year-old and everyone in between to listen to your music. And that's what's going to make you a star. But if it's only going to be your niche group of people who enjoy you about for your raps, you know what I'm saying? Then you're going to stay underrated forever. You know, I signed a deal and cool. Within the mood, they showed me how quick the turnaround time is. Like, yo, you see? And I'm on.
It's not a lot of artists that get to be able to go do it on their own after they've had success with it, with a major label.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
How have you been able to do it?
Well, I always tell people it's my level of consistency when it comes to the music, you know, because if there's one thing that I have when I don't have anything else is the music. So I always depend on that. So I just felt like from my view, I just felt like maybe, you know, the people just love my music so much so that it's keeping me afloat, you know, it's keeping me in the game, it's keeping me relevant and all that. But honestly, it's also being around like, you know, people who taught me certain things about the game that I didn't know. Because, you know, you come in, you coming in and you're just going to make music and that's it. Make the music, perform the music and that's it. But a whole lot of, you know, other things come with the industry. Yeah.
So they consolidated the way they were doing things and the audience that they were going for. So the thing about creative control is that it's a double-edged sword, right? You know, when you sign to a record label, the thing about creative control, it's a double-edged sword. Most of the time, record labels, they have a formula that works for the masses, right? And sometimes you want to utilize it, right? For example, if you listen to people like Maporisa and people like AKA and people like Casper, they have that formula, bro. They just have it. They're not signed to record labels like that, but they have the formula to make radio hits and hits that go to the masses, right? And sometimes you do want that thing, and sometimes maybe you don't. Maybe it's not the type of audience you want to go for, like the AVs. You just want to make music for the slimes, your niche market. You're not trying to go radio all the time and, you know, like you when you were still ambitious, right? So it's a double-edged sword. It depends what you want to do, but most of the time I would advise that you have the creative control because you don't want to be making music that you don't feel like doing, like the Pretty Uglies, right? When he was still at Ambitious, he was trying to go this way and they were trying to make him make songs that he doesn't feel like doing. But, you know, it's up to you but what you want to do. But I would advise, if you're going to sign a contract, just at least look at it, make a choice that do you want to have creative control, or you cool getting advice from the record label and them having the creative control all the time. It's up to you. Or maybe you could negotiate that you both have the creative control. But, you know, you're still going to have to vote that. You're still going to have votes either way. But it's up to you if you want to let it go or you want to keep it for yourself. So it's a double-edged sword. So yeah, that's the first one I'll say. If you're going to sign a contract, please look at.